Venezuela tops measures of the world's most miserable economy. The price of oil, which makes up almost all of the country's export, has tumbled 75% in the past 3 years, and investors are predicting the country is on course for the biggest ever emerging market sovereign default.
The willingness to pay that they have shown is just surreal, suicidal, crazy. Mm-hmm. You define it how you want. But I would not be surprised. My sense is that they really run out of everything at the beginning of next year.
The best situation for them is to continue to be able to deliver oil to China or roll over their Chinese obligations, which is something like $50 billion, but keep delivering oil and get more cash and use the cash to pay down the bonds.
I think that recovery is highly underestimated because I think, let's say that you have 200 billion barrels. Put a price of 5, how much wealth is that? 1 trillion. So you have a situation of a country with $100 billion of liabilities with $1 trillion of assets. Mm-hmm. How does it look as a balance sheet?
You're expecting, at this point, an 80% probability of default. A loss of between 35 and 40%. Okay. So a recovery of around 60. This is a throwback to, a quasi-communist transition era economy, and all transition economies, when it's come to regime change, it's been a very brutal adjustment.
The situation is not sustainable. Either you promote a regime change under your terms, or reality imposed on you. That this doesn't last through the end of next year, I have no doubt, unless you have higher oil price. So the question is either you have default provoking the regime change, or ultimately the regime change comes in. And I agree that at some point in time they're going to have a restructuring once the regime change happens. Yeah. But much more orderly and with IMF help and prices higher nonetheless.